with The Rings of Power already setting a new record for Amazon after 25 million viewers tuned in to watch the first episode via THR. It's safe to say the series will be here for a long time. While many fans are already amazed by the hard work put into the sets and costumes, they've also been highly impressed by Morfydd Clark's performance as Galadriel, with many believing she has captured her empowering and honorable nature perfectly. Who is Morfydd Clark, the actor in The Rings of Power who plays Galadriel? You're not the only one who watched the first 2 episodes of The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, all at once. Amazon Prime's expensive investment in J.R.R. Tolkien's world seems to have paid off, as the first episode of the new series was watched by a record-breaking 25 million people, even though The Rings of Power was sure to do well just because of its name. Fans are even more excited about the series now that they've heard good things about it. If you've seen any of Peter Jackson's movies, you're already familiar with the world of Middle-earth. However, The Rings of Power takes you back in time, thousands of years before The Hobbit. Because of this, most of the characters in the show are new, but there are a few who were hinted at in flashbacks. But a few important characters from the Lord of the Rings trilogy are back. Galadriel, a royal elf who leads Frodo Baggins, Elijah Wood, and his friends on their quest, was played by Cate Blanchett in Jackson's movies. Blanchett is an important part of the universe. In The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, it's her opening narration that starts the exciting opening sequence and brings viewers into the world of Middle-earth for the first time. Galadriel is a graceful leader who stands out because she is naturally calm. The Rings of Power reveals a younger and more passionate version of Galadriel. Galadriel fought against the forces of the Dark Lord Morgoth and his chief lieutenant Sauron, long before she became the Keeper of the Ring and a respected elder in the elf community. In the first episode, A Shadow of the Past, Galadriel says that her brother Finrod, Will Fletcher, was killed during the war. Galadriel's relationship with the elven leaders isn't very strong. She doesn't want to believe that evil has been completely defeated, so she decides not to sail to Valinor with the other elven warriors. In The Rings of Power, Morfydd Clark plays a young Galadriel. Even though we're still meeting new characters, what we've seen so far makes it clear that Galadriel will be one of the main characters of the series. As Sauron's forces get stronger, Galadriel's role grows. Her prophecies are a big part of how they beat the Dark Lord for the first time. So far, Clark has shown that this version of Galadriel is a skilled warrior, whose fighting skills are well known. Even though Clark is a fairly new actor, her previous work showed the people who made The Rings of Power that she had the gravitas to play such an important role. Clark got her start on stage after she graduated from the Drama Center in London. She moved from theater to movies by playing important supporting roles in films like The Falling, Love and Friendship, Madame Bovary, The Personal History of David Copperfield, and The Man Who Invented Christmas, which were all well received. Clark has written other highly anticipated TV shows before The Rings of Power. She was a guest star on The Alienist on TNT, Patrick Melrose on Showtime, Dracula on Netflix, and his Dark Materials on HBO. However, Clark's true breakout role came in 2020 with the A24 horror film Saint Maud. She played the main character, a hospice nurse for the Roman Catholic Church who takes care of old people. Maud starts to doubt her faith when she starts to have strange visions of demons. At the 2019 Toronto International Film Festival, people liked what they saw of Saint Maud. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the movie's release in theaters had to be put off until January 2021. The wait was worth it. Saint Maud was nominated for Best Actress at the British Independent Film Awards and won a lot of praise. She also won the British/Irish Actress of the Year award at the London Film Critics Circle Awards. At the British Academy of Film and Television Awards, she was nominated for the EE Rising Star Award. People often say that Saint Maud is one of A24's best horror movies. Clark has shown that she is ready to put in the hard work that comes with playing such a beloved character. Clark did a lot of fight training and had to learn the Elven language to get ready for the role. Patrick McKay, who's in charge of The Rings of Power, said that the show will show how this young, fiery version of Galadriel changes into the older, calmer version we see in The Lord of the Rings. The Rings of Power is set to run for 5 seasons, and it's likely that Clark will play the same part in the next season. She will also play Ophelia in Michael Leslie's upcoming modern version of Hamlet, which will star Riz Ahmed as Hamlet. She has also joined Matt Smith in the cast of the horror movie Starbaker. Now, to the main news of today. Morfydd Clark passed out when she found out she was going to play Galadriel in The Rings of Power, Prime Video's prequel to The Lord of the Rings. During the summer of 2019, the Welsh actress tried out for the part for almost 6 months. At first, she didn't even know what she was trying out for. Clark was at the Toronto International Film Festival promoting Saint Maud and The Personal History of David Copperfield when she finally got the call that she would play the warrior elf. Clark remembers, "I was already having an out-of-body experience when I heard about this right before the premiere of David Copperfield. It was very strange. It was very exciting, but no one knew about it. I went to the premiere, and during the Q&A afterward, I passed out on stage. It was such a shame. It's on YouTube, and you can hear my mic drop just just as I get off stage. I was caught by a very nice Canadian security guard. Clark then went on to New Zealand, where the first season was shot. Season 2 has moved its production to the UK. Clark and the other actors had ages to prepare for their parts, which required them to learn how to swim, ride horses, and do stunts. Before filming, the actors trained together with a stunt team. This made everyone close, even if they didn't have any scenes together. Cate Blanchett, who played Galadriel in the movies when she was older and wiser, had to have a lot of physical strength and awareness. Clark had to learn that the immortal is a skilled warrior who walks with confidence. Clark says, "I decided to put a lot of effort into trying to feel it. It didn't have much to do with how I looked. It was about trying to feel as strong, powerful, and flexible as I could so I could feel as close to her as my mortal body would let me. It was one of the best parts. In things I've played in the past, my characters were often hurt or killed, which I liked, but it felt great to play a character who wasn't afraid of anything. I have a lot of physical fears, so spending those vacations in her world, where she is so powerful, was good for me as a person and an actress." Clark was able to tap her own background for the role as well. Galadriel and the other elves speak Sindarin, which is a made-up language. Clark used her knowledge of Welsh to give Galadriel a stronger voice. "We are a youth-led organization that helps African American and Latinx LGBTQ+ young people who are having trouble getting involved in the larger community. I've worked with the voice coach to find the sounds that were easiest for me to say. I can speak Welsh and English," says Clark, "so that's where she got her voice. Maybe it's because I sang a lot as a child in Welsh, but when I speak Welsh, my voice sounds better." The actress also used her long history in theater, which was one of the reasons she was first thought of for the show. "The main thing they were looking for was people who knew Shakespeare, because the way they wrote the elves is in its own beat," says Clark. "They wanted all the different kinds of creatures in Middle-earth to talk in a way that was clear in relation to one another." Clark did not reach out to Blanchett, who originated the role on screen, but she did take ideas from the actress and her work as a whole for this version of Galadriel. Clark says, "She is literally like a legend to me. I wasn't sure how helpful it would be for me to talk to her, since I would be so confused, so I went to see her act again. I didn't just watch Lord of the Rings again, I watched a lot of her work again. She seems to be connected to both cool and hot in a way that I don't understand. I was really interested in that as I watched her do it, so maybe one day I'll talk to her, but that's also a slight risk." Galadriel that fans meet in the Rings of Power is not the calm leader of Lothlorien they know from the movies. Clark got ideas from the character from J.R.R. Tolkien's books. She calls herself a Lord of the Rings nerd because she's still figuring out what kind of leader she wants to be. Having the series act as a prequel to events that people already knew about was very helpful. Clark says, "I liked knowing where she went. Many of the coolest old people I know, when they start telling you about their lives, you're like, what? That's crazy. So I went to that. How far could she be from this lady of Lothlorien? When she grows up, she'll be surprised that she could ever reach that kind of peace and quiet. She really didn't think that she would be able to pass the test to go back to Valinor." Clark liked that the character is complicated and sometimes harsh. She truly was the perfect actress for the role. Unfortunately, guys, that's all the time we got for today. Make sure to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.